Hello, everyone. Art Burns here. Hope you're all doing well today. Hope you all had a wonderful weekend and that you're meeting life with a presence and acceptance and compassion that's going to keep you in a place of well-being and invite happiness into your life. Last night I had another amazing presentation. Every Sunday night on Eventbrite, I host a presentation called "How to Tame Stress and Eliminate Reactivity in Less Than 8 Weeks," and it is just one of the most rewarding things I do all week. I just love it so much. People, wind up asking really good questions, and in the question and answer period after the presentation, and I just know that people are benefiting from this so much, and I just love presenting this presentation to people. And one of the things that occurs to me, though, as I reflect on last night's presentation, is that most people show up to this and register for this presentation and show up for it because they're interested in, reducing the stress in their lives and in their bodies, right? But it's mostly as the motivation is mostly, directed towards themselves, right? People want to reduce stress in their bodies because they know that it's unhealthy. People want to learn to deal with stressors in their lives because they know that not dealing with them in a constructive and an adaptive way is holding them back from the happiness in their life. It's causing them difficulties, making things just more problematic than they have to be, right? But the thing I want to point out today is how important it is also to consider the way in which your stress as an individual impacts those around you. Okay, now, I talk a lot about parenting here, because I am a parent. I have a lot of friends who are parents, and a lot of people reply to these emails and videos and ask me about stress and parenting quite often. And so this applies very, very strongly to parenting, but it also applies to any aspect of your life, right? So specifically with parenting, there's some world renowned psychologists and neuroscientists and the like, and pediatricians, people who tell us that the cause of so many conditions like ADD, conditions like even autoimmune diseases later on in life, and all kinds of really, really important and impactful conditions that children can experience, right, come because they feel the stress of their parents, right? Now, specifically for children, this is very impactful, but it's true across the board. The thing that I ask people to remember when I'm working with them as a coach is it's not just you, right? It's also how you are presenting yourself to the rest of the world. And that is going to impact every aspect of your experience, okay? Now, again, there's no more direct sort of impact than a parent to a child, right? And the way this works specifically with children is specifically how it develops into things like ADD or just high stress for kids. Is that when kids see their parents reacting to the stress that they're feeling, right? They see the facial expressions, they see the body language, they hear the tone of the voice, they see, they just sense it, right? And when they sense it, kids have a remarkable way of assuming that it's their fault, right? Like this is because something that I'm doing, right? Like mommy or daddy are experiencing this emotional turmoil because of me, right? Because of my behavior, right? Now, this is something that's very, very, very important for parents to understand, right? Because when your kids are doing this, and this is again the work of Gabor Mate, specifically Dr. Gabor Mate, amazing, amazing writer, amazing doctor, amazing person. He talks a lot about this, right? And also the work that he's done with Gordon Newfield, another doctor, also based in the Vancouver area, just like Dr. Mate is. They talk, but Dr. Mate specifically talks about ADD, right? And he himself experiences ADD. To this day, he's 70 something years old, and he still talks about his own ADD. But he says that most of the experience, most of the source of ADD from children comes from exactly this, right? That they feel the tension, they feel the emotional turmoil that their parents are feeling, right? They think they have some contribution to this, and what they wind up doing is they wind up tuning out, right, out of fear, right? So when the parents are slamming things, or or showing their frustration on whatever level they are doing so, the kids tune out, right? They go to their safe place, which is a place inside, and they just stop, kind of again, just tuning out for their own protection, right? And when this happens often enough, right, with enough regularity, the kids tune out so much, they teach themselves that habit of tuning out so much that they don't know how to tune back in, right? And so this is, again, a very direct effect of parents' stress as it relates to their children, right? But now this is also true, again, with every single experience you have, right? If it's at work, right, when people around you sense your stress, right, they're automatically going to change the way in which they interact with you, right? They're going to change the questions that they ask. They're going to, behave differently. They're going to, maybe walk on eggshells if you're a supervisor, or if you're a report, then they're going to write you off, right? But you can bet in some way, shape, or form, the stress that you are showing to the rest of the world around you is going to impact the way that they interact and treat you, right? It's just human nature, right? Because I mean, it could be as simple as just saying, like, nobody wants to deal with it. Nobody wants to deal with somebody who's all stressed out like that, right? Now, of course, this also is going to affect your friends and romantic relationships. I mean, one of the things that I say in the presentation I gave last night is that back when I had a lot of stress, it felt like my relationships were all just so shallow and so thin, and so not only romantic relationships, but friendship relationships as well. I felt like I couldn't communicate with people, right? And that's because the stress, like, gets in between you, right? Not only the way that they're interacting with me and reacting to my stress, but the stress itself, prevents me from genuinely and honestly showing up to conversations and to interactions. And therefore, again, it becomes almost like a mist, a fog in between, in between you and everyone else, right? And so this also is a way in which your stress deeply impacts the way that you interact with everyone throughout your life, right? And unfortunately, nobody's immune to this, right? If you're experiencing chronic stress, right, to a certain degree, now it's, of course, it's on a spectrum. Some people experience chronic stress, but it's not that strong, but most people, it is that strong, right? And the fact remains that the American Stress Institute has reported, time and time again, that it's like 77% of American adults deal with chronic stress, meaning that you're feeling stress every single day of your life, right? And that's, again, if you're talking about, if there's 100 people watching this video, then 77 of you are likely to be in that condition, right? Which means that 77 of you are feeling the impact of your, the stress on your relationships, on your work, on your children, right? And so this is just another reason why I give people that the time to address the stress that you live with is not a month from now. It's not a year from now. It's not, when you get a promotion, or when your kids grow up, or when you move out of the current situation and get into a new situation. The time to do it is now, right? Because we interact with people every single day, and especially bringing it back to parents, right? When every single minute of every single day, our children rely on us for communication, right? And if every single time that we're showing them that stress part of ourselves, that's impacting that communication, right? And in impacting that communication, what we're doing is we're kind of creating a little more space in between us and our children, and what we're doing is we're hampering their development, and it's really, really impactful, and not necessarily in a good way, right? So So I just, this is an invitation at this point for you. If you feel like this is, if any of what I've said today is resonating with you, if you feel as though, yeah, I am stressed, and yeah, I have kids, and they make me stress, and wow, if you're feeling anything like that, okay, please just get in touch with me. Okay, it's no obligation, right? There's no, I promise you, I'm not here to sell you something that you don't need. Okay, but I'm here to provide help if you do, if you would like and you need it. Okay, so that's all I'm asking. I'm just, not even asking, I'm just inviting, right? That's I'm inviting you to get in touch with me if you would like to talk about this. Okay, now whether you're a parent, you're someone who deals with stress in the workplace, as there are people, like I have one client who has a close friend who she says that during the week her blood pressure, I mean, I don't remember the exact numbers, but they are scary. And I know from scary blood pressure numbers because I used to have scary blood pressure numbers. I don't anymore. I actually have a little meter that I take my blood pressure every single day, and it never gets to a point where it's dangerous ever, right? Because I've learned to deal with the stress in my body. But anyway, my client's friend, her blood pressure goes to these really scary levels from Monday through Friday, but then on the weekends it comes back down. So it could just be a very specific thing that has to do with work, right? So again, whether you're a parent or you're just feeling it at work, or you're just feeling it, when you're, dealing with the dating scene, or what have you, right? Anywhere, any place in your life that you feel like you're getting, into a lot of stress, you should call me, because there's ways to deal with it, and there are easy ways to deal with it, right? There's simple and not difficult ways that you can deal with the stress in your body to reduce it and to make it something that is not going to harm you, and not going to harm those around you and your relationship to them. All right, everybody, I really appreciate you listening to this. And I wish you well. And I'll be back again tomorrow to talk about some more, stress and mindfulness, and how. And I'm going to give you tomorrow, on my list is an actual really important practice that we can do. So make sure you check out that video tomorrow, or podcast. So again, if you'd like to get in touch with me, you can drop a comment below or send me a direct message. You can reply to this if you're seeing it in an email, or if you're on the podcast, you can just simply write me an email at art@artburnscoaching.com, or just go to artburnscoaching.com and schedule a meeting there. It's very, very simple to do. All right, everybody, thank you again. I wish you well. Be back again tomorrow. Take care.